Hi everyone, my name is Tyler and I'm joined by Shri and Ria, and we are co-coordinators for Mentors in the Lives of Kids, a service organization, a part of the KU Center for Community Outreach. And our mission is to be able to provide youth safe spaces for them to share experiences with mentors so that all those involved in the relationship can mutually benefit from one another. And we always collaborate with the Boys and Girls Club of Lawrence. And this past winter, our collaboration saw us throw the Milk Holiday Party, and we brought over 500 local elementary schoolers, as well as recruited more than 75 KU student volunteers for people to be able to engage in various holiday activities. But we wanted to diversify the type of activities present so there would be more chances, more likelihood for people to connect. So we also collaborated with other programs of the CCO, such as Project Bridge and Helping Unite Generations, also known as HUG. And with Project Bridge's emphasis on literacy education, their goal was to lead a station, a holiday card making station, where KU students aided the elementary schoolers in developing cards and being able to construct messages of appreciation for those in their life. And for Helping Unite Generations, they recruited an intergenerational choir that led the elementary schoolers in singing holiday songs as well as dancing to these songs as well. And in the end, we were able to, and Milk as an organization as well, led the cookie decorating station where KU students partnered with elementary schoolers to be able to decorate cookies. And there was also team-based activities. And so in the end, we were able to get some collaboration to promote a more diverse set of experiences so that not only KU students and elementary schools were able to connect, but the elderly as well. So all were able to share and learn from each other in these experiences.
For my fellow co-coordinators and I to start planning for the Milk Holiday Party, we began by meeting with our community partner, the Boys and Girls Club of Lawrence, and we identified the community needs. One of the first needs we identified was promoting volunteers' awareness towards responsible interactions with youth.
This was something that was very important to consider because one of the leaders of the Boys and Girls Club, Ken Holder, wanted to emphasize that it's very important that the volunteers recognize that their actions could be reciprocated by the youth. So we wanted to make sure to create an awareness for the volunteers to make sure they did actions that they would want the youth, they would be comfortable in seeing the youth do. So they had to reflect on what they were doing and how they were interacting with the youth during the whole volunteer experience.
One of the second needs we identified was increasing the diversity of people that were engaging with the youth.
And this was primarily done with the recruitment of the intergenerational choir, although primarily the holiday party typically involves K student volunteers. We know if we have more people, that's more likelihood for diverse perspectives being brought and an increased likelihood for connections being made between people.
Right. The next need we identified was encouraging youth to identify meaningful relationships in their life.
I think this is one of the most important points here because, especially in the times of holidays, we really have to reconnect with our roots, our family, and all the important relationships we have in our lives. And I think this event provided a wonderful opportunity for everyone at the event, kids, volunteers, even educators, to really reconnect with people they love and just have a good time. And that's what this event was really about.
Right. One of the last needs we identified was providing a stepping stone for youth to identify potential mentors. And in a way, like this Milk Holiday Party, by bringing college students, youth were able to pair up with college students and talk with them throughout the Milk Holiday Party and event, and it allowed a space for them to potentially identify new mentors for them that they could have in their life. Moving on to the impact of the event. So overall, the Milk Holiday Party, it allowed for KU students to develop better role model skills. Since students were able to volunteer and interact with the youth in the Lawrence community, they were better able to understand how their interactions can be impactful in the life of the youth and better able to understand how they're supposed to interact when you're in the presence of youth and younger people, and that's important. Another thing that we identified was an impact was how youth identified ways to express their appreciation for people in their lives. And that goes back to how we worked with Project Bridge, and they brought in the holiday card making, and they were able to write cards to people in their lives that they appreciated and wanted to give thanks to during the holiday time. Another impact was the intergenerational engagement revealed the value of elderly in the lives of youth.
Now, this was something that was really fun to see. There was a point where youth had to wait in line to be able to take pictures with Santa, and sometimes it would take a while. So maybe some people were getting impatient, but the choir would take it upon themselves to go over there and teach them songs and have them dance just to be able to engage them, help them pass the time. So the elderly come into this event with the perspective, with their experience in life, knowing how to interact with people. So we want to take advantage of that and have them contribute their own perspectives and their experiences and help positively engage with the youth.
Right. Another impact was volunteers were given a glimpse into what a mentorship would look like. So by pairing up KU students with the youth in the community, they were able to share their experiences and interact, and it really showed the beginnings of what a mentorship would look like. The last impact was it brought multiple communities together to cherish the holidays.
And honestly, that's what the holidays is about, is bringing a bunch of people, um, uh, wonderful people together. And I think this event particularly did an amazing job of bridging the gap between the KU students, the kids of the Boys and Girls Club, and many educators on campus, because it really was a very interactive event. Everything from making cookies to cards with Project Bridge. It was just a wonderful experience for everyone to come together and give back to the community in a sense, because that's what the Center for Community Outreach is all about, is giving back and just enjoying this wonderful time. And it was really an amazing event. Um, Onwards, there were a few biases and perspectives that we came in and just were generally revealed about the event. First, there was a couple of biases and perspectives. First, one bias was that the large number of kids would result in the lack of order or structure for the event. And honestly, it was wonderful working with the kids, and having that big of a group of kids was amazing because they followed and listened. They were very cooperative, and everything ran pretty smoothly. Next, the youth would struggle in expressing how they value meaningful relationships. A lot of the times, as you can see in the picture right above us, kids actually love to talk about their family. They love to engage with people older than them, and they had a really good time connecting with a lot of new people. And seeing that many new people must have been a little overwhelming, but to be honest, kids are great, and they found a way to really connect with all of us. The third point was behavior issues related to collaborative activities. A lot of these kids had their best behavior. They listened to directions, followed instructions, and they really wanted to have the best possible time. So they stuck with their friends, stuck with their mentors, and they had a wonderful time. The fourth point was volunteers would struggle to interact with the youth. A lot of the times, they actually didn't. They had a really good time, and they interacted with all these kiddos. And whenever they did need something, they always came to either me, Rhea, or Tyler. And hats off to my fellow mill coordinators, because I think we all wanted to really throw a good event that bridged the gap between a lot of communities. And I think that's what this event did for volunteers, for kids, and for educators. And there were a few confirmed biases and perspectives that we came in thinking about. We have as much to learn from the youth as they do from us, and that's really true. We have a lot that we can gain from these kids, and even though as we grow older we gain a lot of information and knowledge, there's a lot that we can also get from the youth and their amazing ideas. And given the opportunity, kids will always have fun. And this is the underlying rule for the entire event. Kids will always have fun. And honestly, seeing when they got those cookies and they're making those cards is pretty priceless. So the Milk Holiday Party really did have a lot of different perspectives to it, but we felt like there's a lot of good things coming out of this event. Onwards, we felt like there was one main civic responsibility that the Milk Holiday Party really entailed, and that's that every person should recognize that they have the ability to serve as a positive influence in the lives of children. And that's true. Based on this entire event, one of the things that we really did see was that how big of an impact that we have on the children that we have today. It's our responsibility to really be positive role models for them, so that when they grow up and when they take our shoes, that they'll also be positive influences for the next generation. So the Milk Holiday Party did a really, really good job of providing a really, really good opportunity for us as mentors to give back to these kids and provide a good atmosphere for them. And this is our wonderful Milk Holiday poster logo.
Absolutely. And then going on to the reflections that we were able to have after this event, with all the variety of experiences that happened, it's important that we think about what we could have improved on and also the positive things that happened because of the event. One of the reflections that I take away is the importance of holding oneself accountable for encouraging others to positively and responsibly interact with youth. There was at times we came in with a bias, like we said, that some volunteers would struggle interacting with youth, but we just had to realize we had to be there to be able to encourage them to step out of their comfort zone and make those first interactions with the youth. And then they will find that if they keep on going at it, it's not as difficult as they initially thought it to be. It's just sometimes taking that first step to make the interaction is what's difficult to do. And as Ken Holder, one of the leaders for the Boys and Girls Club, said, you want to be able to responsibly interact with youth. So not only encouraging others to make interactions, but do it in a way that's going to be responsible, so that you're making sure you're promoting the best actions as possible within the youth. And then we also saw the importance of diversifying volunteers, because that increases the likelihood of you finding mutual commonalities. If you limit the type of people that are going to be around the youth, it could restrict the ability for people to make connections, because they might not find similar interests or similar types of feelings or personalities. So by making it so that not only do we have elderly, but we had diverse KU student volunteers as well. So that increases the likelihood of the youth being able to feel like people that look like them are also represented in the space. So there's this inclusion that makes them feel more comfortable in expressing themselves.
Right. And then one of the reflections that we also thought about was increasing mentorship opportunities for youth in the Lawrence community. And obviously that's very important to us, because our mission is to promote positive influences in the lives of children by giving them mentorships and creating those meaningful relationships with the youth in our community. And so one of our main goals for this holiday party was to allow youth and students to come together and to begin the foundations of building a meaningful relationship. And that all started by pairing the students together with the youth and having them interact. And so that was very important to us.
And the last point that we have, our last reflection, is making improvements towards respecting all religious observances of children. As always, we want to be as inclusive as possible at the Milk program. And I think the one thing that we think that in future years that we really want to do is have a more branched out holiday party that really takes into account other religious observances as well, because I think that's really important, especially in the status quo. I think that's what we all realize, is that we have to find a way to make things more inclusive for all types of children and religious observances. And then lastly, for the acknowledgements, we'd like to thank the Boys and Girls Club of Lawrence, especially Kenton Holder, for all the great efforts and events and logistics that they put in for this event, and also the Center for Community Outreach, as well as the Center for Service Learning. None of this could have been possible without these three great organizations and the amount of effort that they put in. As always, thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you.